So I had $6. $6 that could have gone toward a meal. $6 that could have gone towards my savings for my retirement. But I decided to spend my money on a game. $6 might not sound like a whole lot to lose, but when it's towards a game you've never heard of, it becomes the biggest gamble of your life. But you have to take risks in life because sometimes good comes from situations like these. And I got lucky and hit the lotto with this one. Over the years, video games have come a long way. It's become so much more complex with half the hassle. What once took hundreds upon hundreds of manpower crippled by strict deadlines and a growing competitive market can now be easily done by two guys in a studio apartment. With already made engines, anyone can now create a game from the comfort of their home, without any time restraints, big wigs, or crunch time. With this we get some cool, expressive, and experimental projects like Ticket. Ticket is a platform made by Magicdweedoo where you play as a lone left foot traversing through levels in search of the F. But it's a little more complicated than that. The game is advertised as a very innovative audio-visual experience, and you're given just that.
The beginning of true human enlightenment is arriving soon. Welcome to my video. I'm Magicdweedoo, and I want to tell you about my new game, or should I say, the newest, most spectacular innovation in audio-visual enhancement.
Past the crude art lies a very clever and well-designed game. The illustrations this game presents are eccentric, visceral, and somewhat charming. Weedoo knows what they're doing with this game, and they do it well. We start off greeted by this rude fellow who rushes you to pick up a file. Turning the file over, you're giving a player alias, Todd. He's a cool guy. Remember him for later. As you begin the game, you're given an overworld map similar to Mario 3 where you unlock more stages after you beat the stages that come before it. You can enter, research, or crush a stage. Of course curiosity kills the cat, and if you're like me, you want to know what the crush button does. Let's see. Oh. That's it. Stages aren't generally hard, but the resolution really hinders you from seeing what's ahead. But I guess that's the point. Although the gameplay mechanics aren't really fleshed out or offer any real originality, the puzzles and situations you have to solve really keep the game interesting. You'll mostly be hopping on balloons, collecting gems and money, and turning the world upside down to beat an area. Shu, the name of our character, is on a mission to save the universe. Not only is Shu's design fresh, Shu is also super lovable to boot. But don't hurt Shu's feelings because he'll cry, and cry, and it's really disturbing. You'll be crying a lot playing these stages over and over again. The precise platforming and the lack of unknown ahead makes death another factor to this game. When you die, you start the level from the beginning, making you learn from trial and error. Granted, the levels aren't long enough to make you feel like it's unfair, but it can be tedious at times. Sometimes on certain levels, I'd actually get stuck between two platforms, forcing you to reset the stage. The gripes, however, never really dwindled down the experience because the game would always throw in some cool concepts, like making the map become an actual level. The break room being a cool place to meet NPCs and get some narrative going. You even go inside of a pill-addicted old man where you jump on his brain bits with cleats on while finding pills to slowly drive this man to madness. Or maybe we're saving him by killing him? I can't really tell. He sounds like he's in pain, but he keeps talking to you either way. You even get different art styles for almost all levels, which is a nice visual treat. The art kinda takes me back in time when I used to draw comics about the Stickman agent and the adventures he'd go on. It's the kind of art direction that has the right blend to it that leaves it fresh in your mind. There is a story presented to us, and it's not too hard to follow. As you beat levels, you start to make new companions over the realms. Sometimes they might even help you out, like this smoke guy right here. But as your presence begins to grow throughout the land, you begin to make an enemy. And it's not just any enemy either, it's the devil himself. Angered by the filth you're spreading, he comes up with a plan that will trap Shu and finish him off. I like how the trap he sets you up with is nowhere near as bad as one of the levels before it. This level is a test of human endearment. It's long and challenging and you're always dying. It feels like it never ends. I spent 2 days on it. It started to feel like a chore, but beating it felt like a real accomplishment. As we continue on through the levels, we can eventually buy a key and a horse. Yes, your very own beautiful horse. What a beautiful baby boy. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the grocery store. The grocery store is basically an exchanging system. The gems you collect within the level let you participate in mini games where you pick up all the items you can afford. You can't use the items, at least not yet, so try to get as many as you can. Completing all the levels, you are greeted by this very nice, totally not suspicious red man. He takes you through a nice, easy railroad where he guides you to the end. And something feels off. And who would have guessed? The nice man was actually Satan. This guy straight up tells you you're worthless, and we transition to battle. All those items you gathered, all those NPCs you met, will now do you a solid and help you defeat Satan. The whole battle was pretty entertaining. Even Todd was there to help you. After besting Satan, you delete him off the map, placing you back into the break zone where you eventually drift onto the light. We did it. I got the dirty sock rank and, like that, ticket was finished. I've gotta say, I haven't been able to really experience a game that has as much fun with itself as much as Ticket did. Its strong points were its quirky direction and style. Even its marketing was enjoyable. It was a breath of fresh air to play something out of the norm. I feel like more games should follow this example, to go through with those ideas regardless of the risk. I spent $6 and got my money's worth.